national poll conducted by research firm Fox and Hedgehog came out over the weekend, which polled just over 1,600 voters nationwide, and results were mind-blowing. It shows that the support for One Nation has tripled. I'm not surprised. Surging to 21% of an estimated 2 million voters switching their support since the last federal election. I'm telling you, even before then. And at the same time, Labor's primary vote has fallen to 29%, while the coalition has dropped to 25%. Numbers that would have been unthinkable less than a year ago. Their approval ratings paint an even bleaker picture. The Prime Minister, his handling of what happened at Bondi was disgusting. Whilst the opposition is struggling to cut through it all. Susan Lee is not Prime Minister material. Pauline, on the other hand, is recording a higher net approval rating than most major party leaders. So what does that say about the state of leadership in Australia right now? Joining me now is One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Pauline, I appreciate your time.
My pleasure for having me on. Thank you, Jason.
This wouldn't be a surprise to you, would it? I can tell you right now, I'm Gen X. All of my mates are Gen X. We're seeing a swell of males, particularly Gen X males, who are sick of what's going on with the economy, sick of what's going on with immigration. We are concerned about our children's futures, and both major parties don't have an answer.
Exactly. It had to come to a head. People have had enough. They've put so much trust and faith into the government, whether it's Labor or whether it be the coalition, for years now, for decades actually, and nothing seems to change. It seems to get worse every year that goes past. And they're not listening. The sheer arrogance, that's another thing as well. Politicians are supposed to be people who have vision for the future, people who can make decisions, people who know what's best for the country and the people, and working for them. It's working for the people, not to ensure their own jobs. The trouble is the bureaucrats run the country.
Yep.
And the bureaucrats set the agenda, and the politicians haven't got the guts or the inkling or the knowledge how to deal with issues or problems. So they leave it in charge of bureaucrats. And the bureaucrats are ones that have never employed anyone, never had a job. They've, other than just bureaucracy. And this is a problem that we have. And over the years, we've got too many bureaucrats in there, everyone running around like little ants and trying to make themselves important and heaping more laws, registrations, control, and become nanny state on the public. And the people have just had a gutful. And when you get to a stage in Australia where you're flat out owning your own home, you think, can I put enough food on the table to feed the children? Have I got enough money paid for the rent? Will I have a job in, the next year or even the next week? All this is accumulating, and then we're bringing people into the country that are not assimilating, hate our way of life, want to change our laws, and are protesting over something that's happening in their own country that's got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Pauline, and that's resonating with a lot of people. We just want to go back to the Australia we used to be, and we've all been pro-immigration all our lives because we've had immigrants come into our country who want to be here, are thankful for the opportunity, and that's definitely not happening anymore, Pauline. That's the sad thing. What are your thoughts on the Royal Commission? Are you happy with the selection from the Prime Minister? It was way overdue. He says he's caught it in a record time. I'm sick of the lies, but are you happy with the outcome on that?
No. I've got to tell you, no, I'm not. I'm pleased he's announced it, but why go through the process of doing this thing if, I don't believe it's at the heart of it. We're going to get the answers that we deserve or we need to have. I think it's going to be a cover-up. I don't like who he's chosen. I don't believe that she's going to be not biased towards what the Prime Minister wants. She's been spotted in protest rallies. My personal choice, I would like to have seen Peter Cosgrove. Peter Cosgrove is well respected. He's been former, Governor General. He's actually fought in these countries. He understands the makeup of it. He's an absolute, Lovely man, honest. I just got so much time for him. Michael Lee would have been great also, but he's snowed under with his work in the court system. But I just don't like the choice of the person that's doing it. And, of course, it will come down to your terms of reference, Jason. If you don't have strong terms of reference, and that's where it comes back to the commissioner. The commissioner can actually say A or nay at how they write up the report on this after hearing, and I don't think we're going to get that. And I think it's just going to be, and I hope to God it's not, and I hate saying this to people, I just hope it's not going to be a waste of time and money.
Yeah, you're right. And and Pauline, there's no mention of Islamic hate speech or terrorism as well mentioned in any of the dot points, which is the problem, which is what occurred at Bondi Beach.
Of course it is. And the Prime Minister's never said it once.
No, he hasn't.
I'm not aware of it. If you can, so I stand by that. That's the whole guts of the whole matter. And he can't even say the words.
Yeah, Pauline, Australians are just so disenfranchised at the moment. I mean, you look at the opposition, you see Susan Lee there. I mean, what are your thoughts? Is she potential to be a Prime Minister? Would you work with her? Like, I don't think she's the best choice, is she?
Would I work with her if she wins the election? Of course I'll work with her because people have chosen her. There's no problem about it. Do I think she's Prime Minister material? No, I don't. Does she enthuse me? Does she give me confidence in her ability to actually do it or make a decision? No, she doesn't. I've actually told her that myself personally. So I'm not saying anything that I haven't told her to her face. But, I told her back in August I didn't believe she'd last till the next election. She said, I'll prove you wrong. I said, please do, Susan. No problem. I think she's too much of a moderate for me. I think we need strong leadership. We need strong decision-making where we're going. She couldn't even come out with an immigration policy. If you don't know what the hell's happening in our country, that you can't make an immigration policy. Even with net zero, she said, we'll get rid of net zero, but we're going to stay in the Paris Accord. Sorry, that's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? You say you get rid of here. Is that just for public, but you haven't got the policy that goes with it? So this is what I'm saying. I don't have confidence to her. She's too much of a moderate. She won't be able to run it because the party's been taken over by the moderates.
Okay. You've just been up in far north Queensland. You've been in Mount Isa. How is everyone going?
We flew into Mount Isa, then we actually went out to Julia Creek where all the damage was done. Barnaby and I went up there and that's where most of the damage was done at Julia Creek. The people have not seen or heard from the Prime Minister. We actually put a call in to the Prime Minister to give the Mayor of Julia Creek, Janine, a call. She wanted to talk to him. The locals turned up. They were very pleased that we actually did take the time to go up to see them. It's my constituency. Of course I'm going to be there. They don't have to thank me for going. It's important to be there as I went up in 2019 to speak to the locals. They want some help and assistance to restock. There was a lot of dead cattle around. They've gone through the hardships. The cattle are still dying. They want to be able to restock. They want to stay there. The communities have to be supported. It's just not the farming sector. It flows onto the small businesses, onto the trucking firms, onto the abattoirs. It's a whole line of people that will be affected by this. But I'm disgusted with the Prime Minister at that time, had to be told, pick up the phone and speak to these people.
Yeah, incredible.
These people you are supposed to be representing. You're supposed to be in touch with these people. That's why they've had a gutful of it. That Albanese, he's got his own agenda. He doesn't give a damn about the grassroots Australians of this country. And you go to rural and regional areas that I see all the time. They are struggling. They can't get the services. They can't get the care, the health care, the aged care homes. They can't get, even the roads, a hell of a mess, everything. They're just holding on by their fingertips. Small businesses are going under. Industries, manufacturing, and still lets Bowen control. Well, hopefully he'll be gone soon. About the environmental issue, about solar panels and wind turbines.
Yeah.
What the hell's that got to do with it when we've got, increasing cost of electricity? We're right across the board. Industries, manufacturing, small business, households, pensioners, everyone can't afford it. And he doesn't see it. He doesn't give a damn about it.
No, certainly. Pauline, I've got to run. I'm so sorry. We've got to go to news. I agree with you 100%. I appreciate your time today. I've got so much more I want to talk to you about. I'll catch up with you another time, okay?
Lovely. Thanks, Jason. Bye.